There is a potential beef, keyword potential, in the Seahawks camp about how the Seahawks defense hates Russell Wilson. I think this is speculative for a couple reasons. One, I don't really like the report on it. Granted, to counter that, I don't necessarily love Michael Bennett's tweets back towards it, because Michael Bennett would be the only one to really tweet it out type of thing in his ongoing war with the media, even though at many times he's been right about these kind of things, blah, blah, blah. So let's get into it. Seth Wickersham, who's a reporter for ESPN, wrote up a story about how Russell Wilson is too favored within Seahawks camps, that the defense does not get the treatment that Russell Wilson does, as he is the franchise quarterback, even though the defense is equally, if not more, of the reason that they have the Super Bowl win that they do have. So the quote comes first, element number 6, and then we'll get to an assistant coach's quote to follow it right after. It seems to go beyond the normal jealousy, Wickersham says, aimed at most star quarterbacks. Teammates privately seem to want him exposed, but ask them why or on what grounds, and their reasons vary. In the words of former high-level staffer, defensive players would see him in executives' offices and wonder, why not me? Pettiness grew in 2014. Bleacher Report reported that some black teammates think Wilson isn't black enough. Every Christmas, Wilson gives each player 2 first-class tickets on Alaska Airlines. One of his endorsements, quote, it didn't cost him anything. One Seahawk told an assistant coach last year, big deal. And again, that's rife with a lot of potential errors. And then really quick, the assistant ex-running backs coach as of last year was talking about Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll is consistent, says Sherman Smith, the 7-year Seahawks running backs coach who was let go after last season. He treats the rookies the same way Richard was treated. Guys want Pete to call out Russ in front of the team. That's not what Pete does. Pete will single out a guy, but he does it the right way. So, are you buying or selling that the defense hates Russell Wilson?
I'm not buying it.
Are you buying the potential that they hate Russell Wilson?
I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to get into it. I have no idea. Yes, Jason, you're absolutely right. I've heard it from the horse's mouth itself. I don't like the comment that he's just speculating with no real evidence that they're stating that Russell Wilson is not black enough. If race isn't already a prominent issue in the NFL when it comes to the treatment of black athletes by notorious white owners in regards to whatever stand they take, you're going to add another realm in and saying that other players are not black enough for other players to have it go forward.
I think it's wrong that he brought it into the article because he's taking it from a Bleacher Report from 2014.
Yeah, I've heard of this. I've heard this before, and that's why, like, once we did the clip on Cam Newton, remember when a lot of people were getting really outraged at the way Cam Newton was acting, and people were like, it's almost like they use Russell Wilson as the specific example. See, like, that's the perfect white black guy. He's Christian and he doesn't dance around and he doesn't try to do things that's going to upset us. That's the perfect example where it's like you're comparing things that aren't comparable. You're comparing 2 different people and making it seem that they should all act the same. That's not the way it goes, especially with 2 different personalities. So I'm not buying that aspect of it. I'm not buying that there's a lot of conflict in the camp because someone gets special treatment. In case you haven't noticed, there's a certain position that comes with every sport that gets special treatment, and that happens to be a quarterback, because you are the face of the team, regardless of how good a defensive player is or a wide receiver is or a running back is. Let me break it to you. The quarterback gets all the plaudits. That's why MVPs, more often than not, are the Tom Brady's of the world.
Solely.
there
is defensive MVPs, but still.
I get it, but it's like, it's just a way of kind of making it seem so that people can get credit for their reward. And I used to be a defender. I used to face this until I succumbed to pressure and went, you know what, in America, I want the plaudits. I'm going to move higher up and I'm going to start scoring the goals. When's the last time, it's kind of an unfair comparison, but Messi and Ronaldo dominate football. When's the last time a defensive player was ever as recognized as them? It just comes part and parcel with the fact that your position is vitally important, not that the others aren't. And it probably means that you have to be in communication a lot more with the coaching staff as well, because you have to literally decide on specific plays nonstop. You have a lot of things on your plate.
What's worth noting here is also it's Pete Carroll's team, right? And look, Pete Carroll's time at USC started off great, and in the middle was 2 and almost closing in on a 3rd straight national championship until they ran into, oh my God, Vince Young in Texas, and like one of the greatest college football games ever. And then Pete Carroll left it a dumpster fire. Pete Carroll got out, and obviously, as many people have said and have seen on ESPN 30 for 30 documentaries, lots of the wrong influences around boosters, agents, celebrities, and it brought a very fun culture to the players, but not as seen necessarily by the NCAA, and it just potentially added danger where that didn't necessarily have to be. In the case of professional athletes, it's entirely different. Why? Because for one, they are celebrities. Russell Wilson is a celebrity. Richard Sherman, I think, is a celebrity status type of player. I would think that amongst NFL fans, yes, Russell Wilson probably more recognizable. Not NFL, but I think outside the NFL, Russell Wilson more recognizable. That's why. That's what I'm saying. Has a celebrity status with them. Why Russell Wilson's a target, I don't necessarily understand from the defense, from Richard Sherman, right? And I know Sherman has always been outspoken and has always taken press conferences and other opportunities to say what he feels. There was a beef with inside the camp. I feel like we would have heard this from Russell Wilson himself, except he said himself that there is no beef. There was nothing. So Michael Bennett, by the way, his tweets, and again, Michael Bennett, not a fan of necessarily any of the media, but maybe he'll come on and talk to us. This article is trash and you should be on TMZ. It's all gossip. Surprise, this came from you. And then he went on to say in another tweet that he was at Danger Russ Wilson's house. This is the next tweet. I love Danger Russ Wilson, great teammate and friend, and even better human. I was at his house last week and he gave me barbecue ribs.
Nice.
I just like that thing, the very end.
He's like,
he's a great guy. I went over his house. He gave me ribs. It's like when I go to your house and I get vegan brownies.
They're not vegan brownies.
They're vegan brownies.
They're gluten-free brownies.
I can rob, according to Ryan Reynolds, I can rob a bank with that.
Would you? Yeah, you could rob a bank with a bagel in LA. Great tweet. So if you were ever like to answer some stupid article that states we had a beef, you would tweet out and be like, "No, Francis Maxwell's a great guy. I went to his house. He gave me vegan brownies."
I would. I just pour fuel on the fire.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, his bow ties are stupid. And no one would ever know. They'd be like, is he trolling? Is he?
Yeah.
Is he not?
Well, to wrap up my point, I will believe a player who's involved in the camp. And I think it's a little encouraging to see someone specifically call out an outlet for a trash article, because what we seen in the NFL last year was, how many times would we have wanted an Eli Manning to be like, this is trash?
No, Eli throws, no.
Yeah, he throws them.
God, Eli just
the opposite.
Oh,
he's
that's
like,
what you're saying.
Oh, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, Odell Beckham. He's got.
I'm like, he literally is the answer to what you gave second. He's pouring fuel on the fire and be like, yeah, Odell's messing up this changing room.
All my teams are garbage.
Yeah, that's what my point was.
All my teams are garbage. All my teams are garbage.
Comment below how much Jason's teams are garbage.
All my teams are garbage.
We'll come back and subscribe.